Hey guys, super excited to have you into the neuro phase. This is really the ultimate thing that we do. I've been working in this area for 32 years in the area of neuroscience. I've seen tens of thousands of brains, and there's nothing that changes the brain better than the neurofeedback that we're doing, the EEG feedback. The thing that you have to remember, this is not a pill that immediately changes the chemical, but then you're right back where you started. We want to teach the brain. So that teaching process, just like learning anything else, takes time. The general rule of thumb is about 20 hours of training. So we do 20-minute sessions. Doesn't take long for you to figure out that that's going to take 60 sessions to get there. Nice thing is you can really watch anything you want while you're doing this session. And so, it's not like you're just sitting there bored out of your mind. You're learning stuff along the way. Okay. So put that as your initial marker. We go through each area of the brain in 40 session intervals. We reassess the brain after every 40 sessions to see how things are moving, and we redo the assessment that we talked about earlier in the previous video. So to get started, you're going to put your ear clip on, put your headset on. I like to turn on my Calibri ahead of time, and most of the time when we're starting neuro, we're going to be starting right at the center, so where the two areas cross. Put the leads down so that they're up against the scalp, and then put in your email, and then put in the password, which is Inner Armor 100%. The I and the A are capitalized. Everything else is lowercase. So I'm going to log in, and when I go in, you might get a menu like this. If you do, you're always going to Inner Armor Neuro. If you don't get the menu, it'll take you right into the program. So Inner Armor Neuro is the orange one. And so when you go in, you're going to get this matrix. Now, all of you, when you're starting, are going to start in the top left corner. I've done a lot of sessions, so I'm down here as a ways. But all these different quadrants do different things. The first three across, center, left, and right at shaping, is really working on decreasing stress and improving focus. The next layer, refining, is working on improving things related to sleep patterns and thetas that may be too high, and also creative brainwaves. And then sharpening, the bottom one, is all about specific brainwaves that may not have changed throughout the training that we need to target specifically in your brain. So to get started, like I said, you're going to do the first top left quadrant, and there'll be a star there that's orange, and that's ready where you're going to start, okay? So we click on that, and then I'm going to choose my Calibri.
To get started,
in case I forgot how to put the headset on, here's the video. Now here, you're going to do what's called the warm-up. And that's so important that you remember there's 3 sections: warm-up, training, and cool-down. Warm-up is just to get you settled in before we start training, and it helps us collect some initial data to see how you're coming into the session, what your brain looks like. Training is where we're really pushing on the brain. That's where you're going to see a lot of off and on with the sound in the video. That's the training piece. And this is so important, is that you do the cool down. That's where we get the data that we need, that we can compare session to session. How did the training impact you? Okay. In warm up and cool down, we're going to keep the content very simple. It's only 2 minutes long. So we're typically going to do this nature video. I really don't want you choosing another video and have a lot of excitement and stuff during the 2 minutes at the beginning and the end. I needed to keep apples to apples. So for the first 2 minutes, you're going to watch this nature video. If you want to choose something else, just let us know so that we know how to factor different content in. But first 2 minutes, I'm going to choose what's already in the player, and I'm going to say use. Okay. So I have the lead on my head, and when that gets up above 60%, 60%, then we'll get the start will light up. If you're having issues connection, remember a little water under there always helps, okay? And the leads must be up against the scalp. So if you have a lot of hair, you might need to twist to get down there. So I'm going to hit start, and then I'm going to go into the session. If you notice it blurring, that's because your brain is not calm and focused like it needs to be. Or if the sound goes away, that's what you got to remember, that all the way through, no matter what phase, is when it's blurring or the sound goes away, it's mean the brain is losing focus or it's a little stressed. Now, that's okay because it's a variable. So no matter where you're at, we're always going to be pushing against your brain. So it's not that you're trying to get to a point that you have no dimming or no sound going away, because we will always do an 80-20 principle, because we always want to be training. During this first 2 minutes, we're just collecting data, okay? There's a couple things on here. If you want to change your volume, if it's light or too soft or too loud, you can move this guy around and that will change the volume for you. If you really get antsy, you want to see how much time you have left. If you look down here in the bottom right, it gives you a timer. So I have a minute left. I'm going to end it. I don't want you to do this, but I'm going to end it so we can move to the next section. And I'm going to click on here. You're going to go the whole 2 minutes, but I'm going to end this part. Okay? When it's done, you're going to see this screen. Okay? The signal strength should be saying, up above 90. It might say 80. That's fine. Don't worry about that. We can see it on our end. And then the other thing that you need to see is this reward rate. The reward rate. That has nothing to do with what you've done. That is the reward rate that we're setting for you during that section. So warm up and cool down, I set it at right around 100%, meaning I'm not going to push against you very hard. But you'll notice when we do training that this number will come in around 50%. And the reason is I've tightened it up so that the stopping and starting will happen more during training. So don't worry about the reward rate. That's for us, okay? You don't need to hit try again. That is, potentially you could, but I'd rather you not. Just move on to the next section. So complete session. And now it looks like I'm doing the whole thing over again, but I am. I'm doing warm up, training, cool down. So I check the Calibri again.
To get started,
make sure the headset's on. Now this is where it gets interesting. Now I'm in the mode I can do my training and I can pick anything I want to watch. Warm up and cool down, I want to use the nature video. Here, we're going to use whatever we want to watch. And I have these tags that I can go look up different videos. There's all kinds of stuff. If you want something else, just let us know and your contact owner can upload stuff. But there are about 450 videos here about all kinds of stuff. Very fascinating, interesting things for kids, adults, documentaries, entertainment, cooking shows, whatever, sports. But I can pick that category, and if I pick it, now everything that's documentary will start to come up here, and I can start to pick what I want to watch. Okay, so here, let's say I pick this. It's about the Wild West, okay? So now I'll go ahead and use, okay, hit use. It's going to check the strength again, okay? And I'm going to, once it gets to 100% or, above 60, I'm going to hit start. And now the video is going to play, okay? Now it's very dim. I'm going to try to relax and see if I can make it bright.
Of the Wild West and the founding of America. The British are defeated in a bloody war for independence, allowing traders and homesteaders to push west.
Part of the European right of conquest and colonization rested on the idea.
Okay, so you saw the video come back, and that was because I started to calm and rest. Don't worry about if you can't see the video or it's dimming, okay? Let's talk about that here. I'm going to go ahead and end it prematurely, but you would watch the full 20 minutes, okay? And at the end of the 20 minutes, you're going to get this screen again, okay? But when it's blurring and the sound's going away, try not to overthink it. Remember this, 85% of your brain's learning is unconscious. Think of like 98.6, your body temperature, your digestion, how you're managing an infection. All of this stuff is done unconsciously. And so that stopping and starting, we really want to interface with more, the less the conscious, like, what do I do, doc? What do I do? 1, 2, 3, what do I do? That's creating more problems for you. You just need to relax and watch the video. Let the training do its thing, because every time it's turning off and on, it's because a frequency in your brain is out of balance. And we just need that interfacing happening over and over again. Think about when you first learned to use a speedometer on a car. That was really tough at first, but then you started to figure out, and now it's happening unconsciously, right? That you can just look down and immediately make an adjustment with this massive vehicle. That's what we're working on, okay, is that unconscious side. And so I just need to get content because we got to get to 20 hours. Okay. You got to get on the treadmill. So just relax. Actually, we find that young kids actually progress the fastest because they're not overthinking it. They're just watching their cartoon. Okay. So relax, enjoy the content. Let us know if you want different content. And again, don't over-interpret the 47% on here reward rate because I set it at 50%. I want it to stop. Okay. You saw how hard it was for me to bring the video back around, but that's okay. At the end, we hit complete session. And then here, I'm going to choose the Calibri again.
To get started.
Click. Now I want to go back to that nature video. Don't need to switch this around. This is where I'm going to collect all your data. So we're going to hit use, go to 100%. And now I'm going to do the 2 minutes of cooldown. You can see it's a lot easier right now because I have the reward rate set higher. Okay. Here I'm collecting every piece of data, just dozens and dozens of pieces of data on your brain. And I'm able to analyze it on our end. So I just need you to be calm here. Don't bite down, relax, try to do the best version of yourself right now during this 2 minutes. Don't need to be anyplace else, just focus on this, okay? When the 2 minutes is up, again, remember you can change your volume and see the time here. It'll stop automatically. I'm gonna stop it on purpose. Back here, and I'm gonna hit continue, and you will now get a graph of your numbers, okay? So you'll see your thetas, which we want to be 2.7. You'll start to see those graph out over time, okay? Here, my first session was 251. Today was 218. A lot of talking while I'm training. And then you're going to get your high betas, okay? We want these to be less than 0.6. Again, I was in a little bit of a talking mode, so my high betas aren't looking very good here. That's fine. But you'll see that over time. We want those to be trending downward. And so you'll be able to see that. Your coach will talk you through. And then also go to the Royer Neuroscience YouTube and the brain training section. Brain training. It'll explain all of these numbers in detail. Now you know how to run a session. It's great to have you into one of the most exciting technology and science that I've interacted with. We've changed thousands of people's brains for the positive through this training, and really excited to have you in the program.